Righto, Joey, what's your first crack?
Well, my first crack was at MCG today, and it was due the Dogs dodged a bullet, didn't they? It was almost season over if they had have lost this one to Melbourne. And it was a great game because we've had a lot of games this year that have been average footy, meaningless contests with no real ramifications. But to have a game today where there was drama, there was so much on the line, there was theatre, there were 8 lead changes in the second half, and then there were heroes to win the game for the Western Bulldogs and keep this, fascinating top 8 race alive. So it was one of the great games, great second halves, I should say, in particular, of the season. And the Dogs dodged a bullet, and I think Luke Beveridge was pretty impressed with the win as well.
Look, we've had some monumental wins over the course of my time with the club, and this is one of the best. It really is, because, three-quarter time, the game had gone south. And even if you think about our journey this year, I said the other day that we've been really honest, but we've lost the handle on the games at different times, just some momentum shifts. It's very satisfying because we really rate the Melbourne Football Club and definitely the team that we played today. So I'm really content.
He knew the ramifications. That would have been a wasted season for a team that probably could still make grand final. If they were just to drop that and not even play, it would be a travesty. So he was breathing a sigh of relief. And again, it needed heroes in the last quarter, and the Dogs have got plenty of options. But this man, Ed Richards, continues to deliver and almost make himself, and it's ridiculous to say with Marcus Bontempelli in the team, but almost be their most important player for what he does for this team, offensively hitting the scoreboard and making every possession count. Yeah, they've got a heap of options, but he was incredible again today. He had the 6 disposals, 2 goals, 5 score involvements, 4 clearances. It was one of his better games of the season, to be honest. The number 1 rated player in the competition this year. Could have been a whole host of them, but shout out to Ed Richards continuing on an unbelievable run. He
was amazing today, all Australian bound, you would think. Speaking of, what about Aaron Naughton? He has had some sort of career revival this year, Keith.
He has, and I think he's enjoyed the attention that's come to Darcy. I know you talked a lot about that off air, Joey, but his work rate's gone through the roof. And I love what he's doing because it's basic footy. It really is. No frills, just hard work, honest hard work, and he's blowing people up. I mean, we've seen him contested mark. We've seen him throw his body into packs for the cause, just for the sake of the team. But I love what he's doing with his work rate. That's just a snippet. He finishes with 5+ goals. He's been unbelievable in the last pack. What's he kicked? He's gone 3-5-5, 2-7-5-5. That is a run. That is a run.
So is Luke Beveridge justified? Because everyone called for him to go back into defence for all the flaws.
Well, we can talk about the back line in a minute. There's good that he's kicking goals because they're leaking them pretty heavy at the other end. So he's bridging the gap. But I want to talk about what's changed. And his goal kicking, he's now getting reward for what he's doing. And it's a drastic change. If you look at him today, look at that ball drop, pure. Guides it all the way down. There's no free air. The ball is not just dropped from any old height. Look at that, almost all the way down.
It's a lower drop.
It's very much a lower drop, and it's beautiful to watch. And this is why his conversion is so good. This is him a couple of years ago. Just have a look at these drops. And he just was tugging them. He was spraying them. Just have a look how it's just in the air. He just drops it, and the ball is basically covering half a metre in its own trajectory. Look at that. So it's a drastic change, and credit to him for putting in the work. So we talk about growth with players. This is not an easy fix. A lot of training hours involved in this, but the rewards are huge. And when they had to convert today, gee, it makes a difference. So have a look what it's done to him. In terms of just the sheer totals, he's gone from 56% from set shot to 66%. That's huge.
Yeah. Well, that wins you games.
Absolutely. In the pointy end, we're going to talk about it. Someone's going to drop a final because of this. So 60% 0 to 40, up to 75. So I just wanted to point that out and say, let's appreciate the guy for the work that he's done on his craft, and now he's getting the full rewards. I hope he does sneak into the All-Australian team. Not sure. It's going to be a tough team to get into, but he's done really well the last 6 weeks.
Big finish for the Western Bulldogs. Are so important, those twin towers. What about at the back end? We've been talking about them all season.
Yeah, so I thought Melbourne were terrific in that third term, so give them some credit. They really put them under the pump with their counterpunch from the defensive half. Some of their ball movement was as good as we've seen in a long time, wasn't it? 5 goals from defensive half it'd have to be a record for them. They haven't done this since Jesus was a boy. Really, it's been a long time.
It would have been a tough watch for Simon Goodwin.
Yeah,
Couch.
Unbelievable.
Just watching him play with his risk and dare and flair.
So have a look at what the Dogs are doing behind the ball, though. So this is a twofold discussion. Full credit to Melbourne for bringing this. The energy, the verve, the handball, the connect, the dare to run, the dare to take a risk, and then just the calamity behind the ball. He was subbed off not long after that, Jed Buslinger. Coaches don't generally like that, as seeing a big boy run over the ball like that. So he'll come under some selection scrutiny, no doubt. But plays like this, like just get it into space and challenge them. We're seeing more of this around the competition, the preparedness to drive the ball into a contest, a one-on-one, kick to space, kick to grass, and see what your forwards can do. Loving it. Glad that Melbourne have finally got there. It's a shame it doesn't involve Simon, but there's still concerns for the Dogs, but well done, D's.
Yeah, Dogs nearly conceded 100 points again, but this has been something that's been evolving. Their last 6 weeks, their ball movement and points from back half has spiked significantly. They've gone from bottom 4 to top 4. In that phase, Melbourne's ball movement from the back half.
Didn't save him.
It has, but no, it didn't. But he'd been a work in progress, and that's probably why.
Do you reckon they knew?
I'm not sure if they knew, but if they'd been watching, they would have seen the evolution of their game style. But unfortunately, it's too late for Goody now.
You don't reckon Melbourne were across the improvements they've been making over the past month? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Surely Goody would have presented that in the board meeting.
To who? To the board?
Yeah.
Well, he would have presented the magnet changes. Didn't help him.
Nah.
He clearly would have presented that information.
Yeah.
That it's a different scoring profile.
Yeah.
With the same players.
Yeah.
He'd been talking about the changes all season in all his press conferences. Led St Kilda by 46 points, then beat West Coast by 83 points and still got sacked.
What have you got for us?
I want to know who's stopping Sam Darcy.
I just thought a shout out. So Melbourne, that was offensively. I thought Melbourne doing a great job defensively as well. With Jed Adams playing his first game, Dan Turner down there. They knew the reference point was Sam Darcy, and particularly early in the first half. So Bulldogs had 35 entries, only scored 40 points, and I just thought it was a real good reference how they all knew to get across to Sam Darcy. So just something for the Dogs to be conscious of. I thought Melbourne scouted it really well. They all took their share of getting across in front of him, made his life tough. He kicked the 2 goals. One of them was a bit of a Joe the Goose off a turnover. So shout out to Melbourne, particularly early. Game opened up in the second half.
Turner's looking good.
He's looking really good. Yeah. He's looking like he's going to be a really solid elite AFL defender.
Look forward to listening to Luke Beveridge, the Bulldogs coach, with Jared and Gary on AFL 360 from 6:30 tomorrow night.